Hello everybody, and welcome to the Savage Lands. This is going to be my very first Let's Play series for Dwarf Fortress, and I rolled up this little cozy world for us there. So this world has a very high occurrence of Savage Lands, so that's the name. And the idea of that was I wanted to have a playlist that will consist out of fortresses that are on a very high risk, giving me plenty of chances to learn new things and you plenty of chance to watch me crash and burn there. So we'll also follow a little bit of a narrative here, because on this world here we have two different civilizations of dwarfs. I have already sided with the Towers of Age because I really don't know. I don't want to play the raw Sovs. That just sounds like a terrible faction to root for in the first place. And as you see there, or might not see there, these little gray puddles around there, that's all goblin encampments. And there's the humans. So all in all, our dwarven civilization is entrenched here in this area. And there's even more goblins down here. Unholy and forsaken lands down there. And the basic idea that I want to follow with this playlist is I want to create fortresses that give our civilization a way forward. So I'm going to try and keep my new fortresses as realistic to that narrative as possible. So we're possibly going to settle down somewhere along these lines here. We're going to try and breach the lines between us and goblins and establish a fortress. Maybe we're going to wage war against these people. Feel free to dump me into the comments what kind of ideas you want to have, because this is only going to be the first fortress of many. So I really want to encourage you to give me all your ideas for the Savage Lands and for the story, and most importantly, fortresses that you want to see me playing. Because the first thing we're going to do is we're going to place in some savannah and try to establish a fortress behind the enemy lines. And beyond that, well, I'll either cook up something myself or I'll let you guys go for it. We don't have any game-changing mods inside here. There's only one gameplay mod on this world active, and that's the year-long underground farming thing, because I find it utterly nonsensical to be following some sort of calendar when I'm farming underground. So besides that, just some optical improvements and nothing else. So my first thing that I want to go for is, oh yeah, there's another conduct in this series. I'm only going to play in Untamed Wilds because, you know, for fun and science. We're going to go for a area first that has flux. I don't care about heavy light aquifers, but I do care about heavy aquifers because they're just so much work. And we're going to go with a river, yes please, and I'm going to go for iron, yes please. And the narrative here is that I imagined that the Towers of Age, by this time, they would send like fire and forget caravans. Whenever they have somebody to get rid of, basically, they give them a caravan and be like, go back down there and found a new fortress for your ancestors. Go conquer this continent. And most of them don't come back. So we're going to play with one of these random rookie, unexperienced caravans that are sent to death, because honestly, I'm not that experienced with this game, and I really hope to crash and burn here a bit and let you guys enjoy the stories of that. So this is going to be the story of the first fortress here that was sent down past the goblins, and let's have some fun with that. So the savannah here, as we see, the first thing that comes to my mind here is we have only sparse trees. That sucks. That really sucks. So we could take this spot here. I think I like this one. I have a river bank inside there. But if we'd go for realistically, we should really take one of these spots, because we just got past the goblins, and our geologists have found the first proper positions there. And honestly, when you're that deep behind enemy lines, you want to buckle up and fortify yourselves. We're going to pick one of these. I'll just say we went on this spot. I'm going to change my embarkation point a little bit. I hope I won't be hitting heavy aquifers due to that, but I want the river to be a little bit more central on my map. So let's do this. We're going to go for a standardized caravan. Maybe we can go for a carefully prepared one as well one day. And here we go. That's going to be our first fortress for this series. And honestly, Gulf Cobalt. All right. So we're going to check out, the first thing that I want to check out is I want to check out who's this expedition leader. I want to keep this playthrough as narrative driven as possible, so we have something to take decisions from, you know? I don't want to play this only for the efficiency, but probably I should look what's on the map first. So, a giant snapping turtle. Now, well, we got off lucky so far. No giant eagles or giant chaos, so, or keys. I don't know how you call them, but they're flying and they're deadly. So we can't check out the expedition leader because we're not going to die during the first 5 minutes. Yay! So he disdains competition. So sounds like what does that mean? That he it's all about equality. Creative. He has high social awareness. He's frail. And he has a poor spatial sense. So let's check out what he is dreaming of. Oh, I'm sorry. The beards. Oh, the beards. She dreams of raising a family. Well, that's quite easy, honestly. So she's one pretty quaint soul. She doesn't have too high goals in life. All right. So let's check this out. We're really close to this piece of river here. We have some little murky pools here. That would be pretty awesome for some regards. And I can see sand. So, sand. We got ourselves some glass going already. Theoretically. Practically, we're pretty far off. Here, what's bothering me is the cozy mountains. They're all so far away. So that means we're going to have to dig down right where we are. There's a bit of a slope down there. What comes there? Well, we could go down there and start our adventures from... Oh. Well. Tempting. I do like this, but what I don't like here is I don't have a lot of building space, so this would be nothing to start with. No, we're going to drill a hole into the ground, and I don't like to do this, but I don't want to be that close to the border of the map right now, because baddies spawn at the border of the map, so I prefer to be far away from that. Even though it's only a 25% chance, of course. So, we're going to go downstairs here, well, right where I am, I guess. So, it's going to be the interesting question, where does the aquifer live at? And also, please give me more miners. So, everybody pick up a pick and start mining. So first off, I want to do not much corridoring, but a little bit of corridoring, because this way I can at least expand that one day further in the future. I do want to avoid the central staircase of noobness, because that's really... yeah. Alright, so we're in aquifer depth already. Neat. So that really doesn't that doesn't please me. So, yeah, well, I'd know. Well, there's a sand wall down there. All right. So, okay, we're going to play it the hard way then. So let's just hope that no monstersies will gnaw on us at night. But we cannot do anything without somebody carving up some wood for us, so we can make some walls and stuff to break through the aquifer. It's basically going to be a tad bit risky, but what can we do? So, step one, we're going to construct ourselves a carpenter. Probably this will be already the upcoming demise of this place. Who knows? Who knows? Certainly not me. What I do know, though, is that I can now make myself some wooden blocks. We're going to make ourselves blocks because that's way more conservative in terms of material. So we're going to carve out a little bit of an extra here. So my poor little worker here has somewhere to place down those blocks. Because I really want to have that stuff nearby so nothing weird will happen when we're breaking through the aquifer. So I figure that was the first course of action. What are you doing there? Ah, you're picking up the next one. I'm figuring that was the first course of action of our brave expedition leader to go for a real underground home. So we're going to carve out this staircase and just hope that the aquifer is not that deep. So we do what we have to do. Carve out these tiles because they're dripping with water. That's what the light aquifer is all about. These wall tiles produce water, and we don't want water in our mine. We want a dry mine. So let's replace these with walls and hope that deeper down we find some wall types that we can just smooth. Because smoothing works the same, but you cannot smooth a sand wall or a clay wall and or a loam wall. So I'm so afraid about animals here. That giant snapping turtle. It looks vicious. But tell you what, there's one good thing. It's on the other side of the river. That doesn't stop a turtle, I know, but oh, I just hope we're going to get downstairs before that thing develops an appetite for a dwarf. So that would be really, really terrible. Okay. So we can construct ourselves those walls. Where did my blocks go? Didn't you chop up new blocks, you lazy? Alright, but the good news, we've struck a layer of stone, and it is a dry layer. Hell yeah! So we're already past the aquifer. Good. So this was a good turn of events for our brave expeditioners, because that means they have secured themselves a pretty nice home under the mountain. And the aquifer, as it is right now, a nuisance, or at least I plan to transform it into something useful later down the road. And when we check out this here, our first layer of our new fortress is already conveniently close to this here, so probably we'll make some balcony or some roost, I don't know. This really invites to make something beautiful happen. Alright, good. So let's see. Let's plan this fortress a little bit. Because we have now secured the basic perimeter, this here is just a little bit of a necessary evil. The first thing that I want to do is I want to get those goods from up there to down there, because that's just not a smart thing. So here we have now a central staircase, and the first thing that I want to do is we're going to carve ourselves a bit of a tunnel, and well, let's make that a wider tunnel, but still just a tunnel. And then let's go downstairs here yet again. So this will be the outer perimeter of safety and defense for the fortress, because somebody who breaches our defenses can take a straight dive down there, and it would be really awesome if we'd had some first layer of defense. I'm gonna build probably my first barracks there, or my second barracks. We'll see about that. Some traps, but we'll see. So we've dug ourselves into a layer of salt wall, and I haven't mentioned yet, I missed that, but or did I mention? This map has only sparse minerals. So we're not going to find a wide variety of things down here. I did like that, because this makes games technically a lot harder, because trading is quite the pain, especially for larger amounts of ores or whatnot. And but I did like the idea of not having everything available and having to choose what you prefer and work with what you got. We really need to find coal, though. That's really one of the first things. Okay, so we have made ourselves this little central staging area. So ultimately, I want my farming here and my my food processing will also happen here. But right now, well, we could probably do that farming part already, but I don't want to rush things. We have water above us, so we need to make farming happen. But yeah, well, no. But that still means we can plan out this level to be our farming level. Then this one will be my crafting level, and henceforth also my level for storing huge amounts of junk. So that's what we're going to do first. We're going to craft the Hall of Junk. Not exactly, but it's going to be the first big hall where we store stuff. And let's take a look at the giant snapping turtle. It's chilling at the end of the map. I like it when you're back there. Just stay away from my dwarves and everything will be fine. So, well, I like the looks of this, so let's hit the H button and make ourselves our first recenter here. So that's going to be the workshops. We're going to go one staircase directly down here, and that's going to be our first citizen area. And the river otter and one of our dogs went into a fight. Well, okay, that's not a big deal. By the way, pets, what do we have here? So, we got ourselves a horse, a water buffalo, alpaca, llama, pigs, mule. The cats are... Neither the cats nor the dogs are breeding pair. Well, the thing is, I don't think that putting them on out here is a too safe thing for them to survive from. We're going to do this, of course, for now, because, you know, would be madness not to give them some place to graze at. But this is something we really need to take care of as quick as possible, especially in a savage environment. Also, we want to make sure that our silly dwarfs are not going to make any dumb moves. So this is the only water source I approve, and this is also going to be the only fishing source I'll approve. There we go. And because I have spoken so, we're going to go on over to the standing orders and go for here. So now they really will only go for these zones. As close to my base as possible. Thank you. Alright. Let's see. We're going to go for the full forbid thing here on sieges and stuff as well. So our silly dudes will not go for tossing themselves into the next situation when somebody dies. Because these settings, basically, they make sure that if somebody of your folks dies, the next dwarf will try to pick up the remains of that dude, and that's not necessarily the best idea to do that immediately when you're in a savage environment. Okay, then I do not want to automate the kitchen, because that only makes the kitchen use up all my tallow, which is reserved for soap. Alright, so we got ourselves some ground rules down. That's a good start. And now let's make sure that the hole here gets carved out. I'm a little bit concerned about the well-being of my dog and the otter, but honestly, as long as they're not agitating any animals, I'm completely ignoring that. Okay, so we found some gemstone, hooray! But beyond that, we didn't find anything particularly exciting. Ugh. I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared for the lives of my poor dwarves. So let's check out what do we have here. Sarvish elbow key. Sloppy. Right. Let's see. What's your dream? He dreams of mastering a skill. Well, my man, keep chucking those rocks and it might happen one day. And you? Dreams of mastering a skill. Alright. You do you. So, let's check out the giant snapping turtle. Oh boy, it's so close to our map, to our base. I'm so scared of that thing. I'm literally just waiting for it to go for any of my dwarves. You know what, guys? We're going to go for the meeting area down here. You guys cuddle up there and quickly dislodge the wagon and flee downstairs. Let the snapping turtle eat the animals and not us. And there it already happens. So the dog went into a fight with the giant snapping turtle, and now the fisher dwarf did so too. I'm pretty sure that this will be. Let's see. Right upper leg is cut open, so it doesn't sound too well. I knew that this thing was bad news. I really did. And we're nowhere near close to taking that thing down. I don't know what happened here or who dropped his body fluids there, but it looks like there's a lot of injuries on that monster too. So probably it was a double KO, but I'm sure that poor Avus here is not going to survive that. So turns out Golf Cobalt already claimed its first victim. Damn. So, you silly old dwarves, could you please stop having a drink while your fellow friend there is bleeding to death? Right next to a horrible monster. It's probably still agitated. I don't know if that's how wounded that thing is. I mean, susceptible to disease and very slow to heal. Whatever that means. I only know that I need to get those animals underground somehow, and my dwarfs into safety somehow, or a wall around my animals somehow. But there's still the problem that water proves no safety from this monster. Okay, whatever. I'm terribly sorry for my mining dwarf, you know. I really feel bad for him. Or her. I don't know anymore. So the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to get ourselves some chair and a door going because we need a manager. So here we go. It's office time. And some dormitory would be nice too, I think. Alright, so I wonder how long it'll take for this poor guy to die. And I think the other dog here is dying too. I think without a hospital or a bed, maybe they can carry him back home when if we have a bed. Well, all right, but let's not ponder about that. So let's bring up the first couple of rooms to work with. Probably like this. Should probably make them a little bit smaller, shouldn't I? We're not that bent on luxury here. Oh, that's wrong. Stop it right there. Okay, but let's make that furniture, let's make that office happen as quick as possible and get our first few workshops down. I need a door to seal off and stuff and traps and I don't know. We really need to get ourselves safety here. Okay, got myself an office or an office to be. So we can now assign the manager. Hooray! Automated production is ahead of us. So that's already quite tense, you know. I'm really feeling bad for Fisher Dwarf bleeding to death out there, but I seriously don't know what I could do to stop that now, you know. We don't have a hospital. We're so far away from having a hospital, or are we? We could actually make something about that. Now that I think more closely about it, it's our friend. We need to take care of him. But first, we need to take care of the amount of beds that is always in our fortress. I don't want to make anything else than beds out of wood right now because wood is a scarce commodity. So we're going to put up a stoneworker up here. And I'll leave the carpenter up there. I hate myself for doing this right now, but it's the best I can do. So here we go. Stockpile has been announced. The first thing that I need to do here first thing, but let's forbid those plump helmets real quick before something bad happens. Now, I was thinking about labor and haulers. So we're only leaving that hauling to these two guys, because if you don't, they everybody will start hauling and nothing will get done anymore. That's outright terrible. So now only these two fellas will do the hauling. That means nothing will get done ever, but it also means that everybody else will be busy. Can be busy. So let's see. I mean, we're going to try and save this poor soul there. So let's make a tiny hospital happen. We're going to need a bed. Check. We're going to need a table. We don't have that yet, but we can make that happen. And we're going to need a chief medical dwarf. It's going to be weird, but I want to try and save his life, you know. He was wrestling a freaking giant snapping turtle for us. Speaking about which, I don't know where the whereabouts of this monster. It's really freaking me out that we have a giant snapping turtle outside, but what can I do? I hope it's going to eat some of my animals instead next time. Alright, we got the table, we got the room, so let's see if we can't patch up or friend up there. So, step 1, announce that thing into a hospital. Step 2, bring in the furniture. Step 3, assign personnel. I really don't know. This is literally the earliest hospital that I ever tried to establish in my Dwarf Fortress time. But I think it's necessary. I don't want to let the poor guy die out there. So, Chief Medical Dwarf, is there... Oh, nobody out here has any skills in medicine. That's going to be awesome. So, we're going to make you the Chief Medical Dwarf. Congratulations. And now we're going to need... I mean, we have thread. We have... I don't know if we have fabric or not, but... So, you're the doctor, you're the diagnostician. Oh, you can't have be everything at once. So we need a... Can you be the surgeon as well? Oh, damn. So we're... Oh, this is going to be horrible for this poor guy, but at least we're trying to save him, okay? So, let's check out if that does anything. So, my fisher dwarf isn't lying down there anymore. Where is he? What's happening to you? So, right upper leg is dented. So, I leave the hospital open for now, but it seems as if the worst was already over. We don't have a chest for the items. I need to change that. So, rock coffer. Okay, strangely enough, the first tussle with this biome has been survived. Let's bring down the carpenter downstairs, and most importantly, we really need to get ourselves into some very early game farming, because that's, you know, it's going to take a while until I have properly irrigated my area there. So let's get ourselves into some early farms here. So that means here I'm going to produce the food, and here we're going to have some farming chambers. And one day in the future, maybe we're going to store war animals here. I don't know. So we're going to see what we're going to do with that. I just know that if I don't start farming soon, we're going to be out of plump helmets quite quickly. I mean, we could forage upstairs, but I want to keep my foraging up there as minimal as possible because I don't trust those giant snapping turtles. By the way, did it die? I think it did die. It's no longer on the list. Ha! So, turns out we did it, obviously. Okay. I'm more than surprised. I mean, probably the giant snapping turtle isn't as dangerous, or we just had a very, very valiant fisher dwarf and a valiant dog. Who knows? Certainly not me. But we should definitely try and consider doing some art out of that, don't we? Okay. So, announcing those farms. And let's place down the workshops. going to be a pretty vulnerable area here. I really don't like to have the workshops that close to the surface, but for now, we're going to be okay with that. So here goes the farmer. We need a kitchen. We're going to need a lot of these. I don't know, fishery. Well, technically, my fisher dwarf seems to be happy and running again. So let's see. I already have the kitchen. I have the fishery. Let's can they be standing like that by now? Let's try it out. So butcher and tanner. Oh, I want blocks. But no longer do we need wooden blocks. So I'm going to fix up the kitchen area and everything in between the episodes. I'm going to program in some work orders, and I'm going to show them off at the beginning of the next episode, because I think, well, Gulf Cobalt has its first moments of safety. I bet that we would have been worse off if the meeting area wouldn't have been dissolved here. There's still tons of items that can get pilfered, tons of items that need to get downstairs, so we're still in a lot of problems, but well, let's see how far we'll take this. So I hope you like this new format. It's leave me your comments down below how you like it, or whatever ideas you have on your mind. Leave me a thumbs up on that video if you enjoyed, for sure, so others can find it easier, and of course consider subscribing if you enjoyed what I did there. There's lots of other stuff that I do every day, and chances are you like the rest of it as well. So, I hope you're going to continue watching this, or want to watch those tutorials I made, or whatever might be the case. Have a wonderful day, and see you soon.